Welcome to the show, I'm Chris.
And I'm Dave.
Let's look under the dial.
Is that intro music?
Never gets old.
I love it.
So...
Welcome back.
Welcome, thank you for joining us for now. We're at episode 6, Return of the Heroclix. Terrible. I shouldn't be allowed to talk on this show.
Another new location though today.
We promised we're going to settle down somewhere. We've been talking for a while and we're going to settle down somewhere soon.
Yeah.
Just hopefully our wives are okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is new location for this one.
Yeah.
Today is pretty simple. We've got some pieces to talk about, bit of review. First though, the Star Trek set. The Star Trek, the original series Heroclix set. I have now played some games with it, mainly in sealed. I did a sealed game at Galaxy Bookshop in Sydney the other day. Really, really good set.
Did you win?
No, I came second because it turns out when you play tribbles and they multiply, they are a prime target.
Did you play tribbles?
No, I did, but one of the other guys at the table played tribbles and he made a lot of them, and then the player who won just energy exploded.
Oh, okay, he got a bunch of them.
Because they've got to all be together to each
yeah.
other, and they just all blew up.
Yeah.
Really excellent set. So, admittedly, some of it does only work within the set itself. I mean, the things that work with Romulans or Klingons.
Yeah.
I do have a piece. There are a couple of pieces that will work anywhere. I'm going to talk about one of them today. Someone pulled from their booster a guy who's pretty much Mr. Mixelpitlik.
Okay,
but
so
not
dice changing.
With the dice change thing. Not quite as good because he has to power action to get another dice when he uses it. But still, for 50 points...
Reasonable.
With indomitability,
yeah.
It's a pretty good piece. But it's just fun as a sealed or as a constructed format, playing a bunch of red shirts or a bunch of random Klingons. The title characters are all good if you're playing particular keywords. So it's a lot of fun to do. If you've got anywhere to play with the Star Trek set near you, I highly recommend it.
We'll put some footage up at the end.
We will. We have some footage from the game. And the OP map as well is probably the most fun OP map I've played, oh gosh, I don't know, probably since Civil War.
Yeah.
It's a really awesome, we played the one side where it's like rocky corridors. It's just so fun. It's anti-flight, but you could still navigate there well enough. There's a lot of cover. It's like catacombs. It's a really, really good map.
But let's never forget Danny the Street, though.
I mean, we would forget it because he's been banned from
yeah, I know.
Modern rotation.
But it was so good.
It was real good. But,
I loved it.
I mean, if you're into that.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, but amazing. Star Trek set, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So quickly on to news and a new piece that's come out that is the talk of the town here in Sydney anyway. I don't know what it's like everywhere else, but it's Prodigy from this X-Men set.
Now, is it X-Men First Class or Xavier School now?
Xavier's School.
Xavier's School.
It just features a lot of the First Class pieces, which is what I think is what's happening. But it's Professor Xavier's class. Or
First Class rolled off the tongue more, I thought.
Yeah.
It's a better kind of... Give me a booster of First Class, please. Rather, give me a booster of Xavier's School.
Xavier's X-Men, I think it's
Xavier's
called.
X-Men.
Something like that. Whatever, but it's XXM, I think. It's kind of cool. Anyway, whatever. Prodigy is what we're here to talk about.
Prodigy.
That piece is a 30-point son of a. Yeah, amazing. I think he's so cool.
So one of the things that's prolific in a lot of modern teams at the moment is, of course, pick a power. So things like Jakeem Thunder, Al Jordan, all the ones that are able to just pluck an ability from the air.
Prometheus to 11%.
Prometheus as well. Not quite as good as the others, but same thing.
Goblin King.
Goblin King, of course, the Gobbo. So now what we're getting with Prodigy is the first of what I hope is many other anti-pick-a-power pieces. So Prodigy is a rare from this new set.
And it's a rare, which is
a rare.
It's a big part of this because it means there's going to be quite a few floating around. It's not a super rare. It's not a prime. Which it makes it feel like there should be quite a decent amount.
Also not unique, which I'll come back to in a minute too.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's 30 points, so he's only got 4 clicks, pretty standard abilities. His first click gives him sidestep, willpower, and outwit, which I think is a nice little combo, nice little sort of dancing around, outwitting thing. Can't tell how much range he's got. It doesn't say on the image.
It doesn't. I don't think it's there.
It's there, but it's cut
off.
Oh, it's
cut off.
image,
Yes, I see it. Yeah.
But so the outwit and sidestep are nice, but what really makes him excellent?
Unbelievable. Let's just read this from top to bottom.
So from top to bottom, his first trait is ex-student, which I gather is going to be on several.
I think it's going to be on multiple.
Pieces.
Yeah, correct.
And the ability is when this character's or an adjacent friendly character's attack roll includes exactly 1/5 on the dice, modify one target's defense by -1.
That's
now,
kind of meh.
It's alright, and it doesn't specify that it has to be in range or line of sight, so that could be a good reduce on the other side of the map thing.
Yeah.
But what really makes Prodigy shine...
Knowledge sponge.
Knowledge sponge.
My God.
Once per turn, when an opposing character uses an effect that allows it to choose standard powers to use, you may choose a friendly character. Prodigy and the chosen character can use those standard powers until the end of your next turn. What's that? You want to take hypersonic speed and Blades, Claws, Fangs, or Running Shot and Pulse Wave?
I suppose I have hypersonic speed.
I think I've got them
and Blades,
now.
Claws, Fangs.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting, and I think the wording is pretty strong. He gets it, which is useless. I think you don't want him to do anything
unless you sort of shit out of luck and he's about to. He's like one of the last.
I suppose. But the fact that he can choose anybody and. No line of fire, no range, none of these things are mentioned anywhere. Now, I get the feeling this is one of those pieces that may get errated to be different.
I hope not.
I hope not either, but I feel like no line of fire, no range, none of this stuff mentioned means that it seems a little overpowered, considering the teams that are running around at the moment. So,
I mean, if he was a chase, maybe you could get away with it. But
yeah, it's a rare, and I feel like it just literally stops somebody who is like playing Jakeem Thunder from wanting to pick anything too good because I'm going to have it until my next turn as well. So
and for 30 points with a non-unique piece, non-prime piece, you could have two of these guys. Have one who's running around doing the nice little sidestep outwit mumbo jumbo,
whatever,
which is always nice.
Yeah,
and having the willpower means you can push himself with movement to get closer quicker, and then have another one standing at your start line in the starting area. Just
and
leave
I'm getting,
it there.
and I have even that's 60 points, and I have what 240 points left. I'm sorry to fill with pieces that might be. You know what? You know the one I'm thinking of is stuff like the Bane. That has a really, really long dial.
The Joker's
super cheap.
Yeah.
Those kind of things that and you're like, he's just going to get all the powers that you choose. So be very, very careful what you choose. I mean, there's a lot of different mixes of things that I think will work, but things like that he's only like 50 points or something, and he's got like 9 clicks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The Wolverine from the which Wolverine was it? The one that he rolled a dice and healed that many at the beginning of his turn.
Was that from Uncanny X-Men?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's one of the commons.
Yeah, I think it's a common. He's like 50 points, same thing, but like 9 clicks long. I mean, those things...
Imagine him with hypersonic speed. Because he's already got blades and combat reflexes and something else.
That's exactly right. And if I have 3 of them, my team's still not full. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing what people can do with this.
It's going to be pretty crazy.
And if he happens to take a bit of damage, he gets support, which is nice.
Yeah.
As an additional thing.
Not too bad.
I think for all 4 clicks, you're getting pretty good value for 30 points. You've got 4 clicks of stuff. You've got mobility. You've got outwit. You've got an amazing trait.
And then stealth.
If you get knocked down that low, you've got stealth happening.
I mean, granted, like I said to you, I think that he's going to get hit once and maybe just flat die.
Quite possibly.
But, you can take that chance, but he has to stay behind somewhere. A little bit protected.
Realistically, all you'll need to do is... If your opponent is dumb enough to use Jakeem and get like 2 really good abilities, like Hypersonic and Blades or Hypersonic and Pulse Wave, all you need...
Running Shot, Pulse Wave.
All you need is one tentpole out there to just mess up their day.
Yeah.
And if you can have Prodigy stay alive that long, or like I said, if you keep one at your starting zone... I think because magic can happen.
Not needing range of line of fire, that's it, right?
No.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I'm keen to see what happens with that. If you've had a look at the piece and you've got some ideas on some teams you might like to play, do let us know.
Comment below.
I want to know some brews. Can we call them brews like in Magic? Like combinations?
Why not? Yeah.
Tell me some Heroclix brews with Prodigy, because I'm keen to abuse his powers.
All right, so let's get on to the next section.
Speaking of abusing powers,
a new section. We haven't done this one yet in an episode, but we like to rotate around what we do near the end. We're going to do piece review today.
Piece with an I, not An IE, not an EA.
Yeah, we're not that high level.
I'm not going to piece review him. I'm going to punch him in the face.
Yeah, so we both brought a piece today that we want to talk about.
We did.
They're kind of off the cuff discussions, just things we think about. I think my piece.
I might do mine first because we've got a lot to talk about on your.
Go for it.
So,
Chris first.
So running off from the Star Trek set, I got this gentleman right here, Christopher Pike. Those of you who are not down on the show, he was the first televised captain of the Enterprise in the pilot episode The Cage back in 1966. Now, this piece is, I think, one of the few that is viable, really viable, in mixed teams in modern. So
how many points is he?
So he's 75 points, right? He's got Indom, always nice. He has the Federation team ability, which is like what the Avengers and Justice League ability is now, so +1 to a move action. What he's got is his first click starts with charged blades, combat reflexes, and this neat little damage power, which is an outwit. And when he uses this outwit, after resolutions, you may destroy an adjacent wall or square of blocking terrain.
I mean, it seems pretty good.
It's really good. And in the map that you get in the OP, it's even better. Because that thing is nothing but blocking terrain. So what I think makes him really solid to mix in with a team that has superheroes or a team that has things that have significantly more power than a lot of the Star Trek set. Because the Star Trek set is quite cheap. It's like 20, 30, 40 point pieces. Chris is 75. He comes with, I think, 6 clicks. The movement and attack is nice. He gets into the middle third and fourth clicks. He has flurry with some battle fury and some toughness, which is good. And then the last 2 clicks, he's got running shot and energy shield. Again, with the outwit that comes back, the special outwit. And it's just a mobile, nice bit of 75 points.
I suppose what I like about it is when he's got the outwit power, he has move and attack ability. So you can always be moving him to a spot where you want to break wall.
Yep.
Do the attack, fail or not, whatever. I'm going to outwit something, and then I'm going to break a wall.
So if you pair him with someone who is a ranged piece, if he's on his first clicks, and someone who's a ranged piece, there's an annoying piece behind cover. What I could see you doing is there's a red shirt in the Star Trek set that has telekinesis and sidestep. So you just TK him in close to the enemy, charge an attack, and you use the outwit after you attack the enemy and break apart their cover, and then your shooter comes in. Hopefully they've got enhanced targeting through hindering. If not, doesn't matter that much, and you just knock them off. Because if they're in cover, likelihood is they're not a ranged defense piece.
Probably not.
Usually not.
Yeah.
And I just think for 75 points, he's a prime target for a possessor if you're going to use Proteus or what's the other one? Eclipso or anything like that. Brainiac. For most leadership pieces, he's below the point value of a lot of the major ones that are out there at the moment who don't share keywords. He does have, in addition to Starfleet, he has Soldier. So if you're running Captain America, if you're running Cap teams with that...
I feel like if you're running a Cap team anyway, you've got a lot of leadership regardless.
I mean, yeah.
Probably.
Or if you run that 50-point Cap from ADW, the old Cap with the really good leadership ability.
Yeah.
Also good fit there.
Yeah.
And 75 points for that is a solid, nice little slot him in. He's not going to be a tent pole. He's not going to run your team, but he's a good additional attacker plus your support pieces and your tent pole. So I think for 75 points, a lot of utility, a lot of different things you can do with him, and that outwit is just fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun little, I just blow up your cover.
Yeah.
While I also take away your regen or your impervious or whatever.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, so I recommend him. He's a super rare, and it's just a nice little addition to any team, I think. But also Starfleet teams work really well with him. Now, Dave, there's a little story behind your piece. Would you like to tell it?
So, if you watched our last episode, we did Brick Wars. I opened up a chase. The chase is the Flash, God of Death.
God of Death.
I mean, we've tussled with this about how awesome he is, but the reality is this. I bought a case, so I got 2 bricks, and in both of my bricks, I got the exact same chase. The first time I got it, I traded it with somebody for a different chase that I really wanted. Granted, the value wasn't as high, but I didn't really mind all that much, because I knew that my friend would lend it back to me if I needed to use it, whatever it is. And then we opened up the second one on the show, and I got it again. So I was like, well, I suppose I'm just supposed to have this piece.
The universe is telling you.
Yeah, so it is actually one of my keywords that I do collect. And like we've said in the past, we play by collecting keywords and playing with those. So Apocalypse is the keyword that I choose. And the piece itself is, I think, quite valuable in terms of the metagame at the moment. It's a very, very strong piece. So a lot of you probably already read it. It's 125 points, which is hefty, but for what you get for it, it's quite worth it. So I'm going to put all the stats up from both these on the screen for you to be able to see a bit better. But he's 6 clicks long, and on the first click, which is really the main thing, because if you can get him off of this click, then you're doing quite well. But he's 14 with hypersonic speed, which is quite standard for a Flash.
Yeah.
The next part here is the tricky thing. He's got 11 attack, which most Flashes usually have 10.
Yes.
So he's already edging out, and he has precision strike. So you're likely to get some damage through. Is what we're getting at here. It's a good amount of attack and precision strike. He has 4 damage, no special ability there, but he has 19 defense with super senses, which
is always a lovely,
an unbelievable number, right?
Yeah.
And when you're running around with 14 hypersonic speed and you have the ability to run out, do the attack, and get far enough back that somebody's not going to attack you back. I mean, these are the things that Flashes are for, but this guy's just got the better attack.
And if you compare him with some folks who give him Perplex, can up the defense a bit
100%.
more.
There's just so many ways to go with it.
that.
And as an important thing here, he is unique. So there's only one of them, but he ignores hindering terrain for movement purposes, which was a problem for some other Flashes because they could not run through hindering.
No.
So this gets around that problem, which is quite nice. He's got 2 traits that I'd like to talk about, which is quite good. The first one is the God of Death. Now, they all have a God of something trait in the chases, and each of them stops something else from happening. But his one is probably one of the more valuable ones. Again, it's opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't be healed. So I feel like for a lot of situations, that just stops. That means that if he's close enough, you're not supporting, I'm not regenning, you're not doing anything that's going to correct nothing. No steal energy, which is probably the main thing, really. It's nasty and unfair. I mean, I think the Lantern one is also quite good. He's got no stealth.
Yeah, the Lantern chase, the Lord of Light, God of Light, or whatever, is also quite solid and quite cheap.
Yeah, very cheap for what he is. Yeah. The second trait, it's also quite good. And keep in mind, these are both traits.
Soul Harvest.
Soul Harvest, yeah. Steal energy. When an opposing character is KO'd, after resolutions heal the Flash, God of Death, 1 click. If the KO'd character and the character... If he KO'd the character, and the character was 75 points or more, also remove an action token from him. So I think that the thing with this is it doesn't matter where he is. If somebody gets KO'd, he's healing a click. Which means even if you did get past that 19 with super senses, I'm getting it back. Which afterwards he's going to have 20 at range anyway.
Which is never
unbelievable number to hit.
And what's also great about him, the more he takes damage, his numbers do go down, but he becomes harder to hit. So he ends up with prob control, he ends up with impervious...
And phasing teleport.
Which means... And, he never drops below 12 speed. So even if he loses his move and attack, he's going to be able
more than half the map.
and move through there, and you're just going to have to play cat and mouse with him.
100%.
And hope that the timer doesn't run out.
When that does come around is where he gets his special attack power, which is there's no escape from death. It's precision strike again, and then he has a free, if he has 0 or 1 action tokens, make a close attack. So not only does he gets to phasing teleport and attack, which is unbelievable, but he's phasing teleporting and attacking with steal energy and precision strike. So all together, and prob control, might I add.
Nice.
It's all together just a very, very nasty combo package. Now, imagine a world, if you will, with Prodigy involved in this situation as well, right? Where he's just... Yeah, I don't know. Just so many great combinations of things.
It's going so good, you can't even just conceptualize.
I can barely keep it together when I think about it. It's an unbelievable piece.
I'm reminded of the Kingdom Come Flash.
Yeah.
who had similar abilities but was 70 points more. And
That's 195
he was 195 points.
Granted, he had the super senses for longer.
He did, and he had more clicks. I think he had 8 clicks rather than 6.
And he started with prop control.
Which I love that KC Flash. I have one. It's an amazing piece still.
It's also, just to quickly mention, he's quintessent as well, which is a big part of it.
Which is also a good part of it.
Yeah.
But the thing about this Flash, the KC Flash was good, but I don't think was modern viable because you're paying 2/3 of your team points for one guy who is durable, but, you know...
If you can't do it.
Unless you've got a really tight combo.
I think his attack was still only 10.
No, he had 11, I think, but he didn't have an attack power though. He just had normal attack, I think, from memory. Yeah. This Flash though, almost every click has some kind of color on it with some nasty abilities. The traits are fantastic. His attack power is fantastic, and you're getting him with protection from outwit because of the contestants, which gives you also the ability to push.
Yeah.
He's got the JLA ability, so if you're just moving, again, +1 to your movement.
Yeah.
He's just a great package. And any piece for me that is this cost that starts with 4 damage is really nice. Solid piece.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you like to tell them how much it's, at time of recording...
At the time of recording,
I think it's worth on
Colin
Toad?
It's $150 which, based on the 2 that I pulled, was almost just paid for my whole case that I bought. So that was quite exciting for me as well.
I'm just thinking, well, if it's 150, I should really just hold this to ransom now.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, just aesthetically, the model looks really cool.
It's a very cool looking model.
It's got the cool flash speed effect. He's got a scythe made out of Speed Force energy.
Yeah.
And the black and orange suit is just like, ugh.
Pretty awesome.
It's great.
But I think that's it. That's all the time we're going to have.
That's what we got.
So we're going to put up some of the Star Trek footage, some pictures and some and some vid. Hopefully you like that. Don't forget you can email us. underthedial@gmail.com. We will get to the mailbag again next week.
And we have our address in the bottom bar as well.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, dude, tell us, do you have combo ideas for Prodigy?
Yes.
What do you think of the Flash and Christopher Pike and the Starfleet team? Have you had a chance to play the Star Trek set in Constructed? I'm playing Constructed with it in a couple of days for the first time. I'm really looking forward to it because I bought way too much of it, and now I've got like Tupperware containers full of Klingons and Starfleet and Romulans. It's going to be amazing. Hit us up, and we'll see you in episode 7, The Clix Awakens.
The next time. Until then, Finn.